Hey friend, how are you? It's Debbie. I wanted to welcome you to the third week of your SuperStart Academy. To kick off the week, we are going to be talking about the topic of host coaching. Now, how you coach your host through the party process, getting them ready, during, before, after, all of those things is critical to the success of the party. And that while there, like we've discussed in previous videos, there's lots of different ways and styles that you can have a party, there are some tips that ring true for every type of style of party. And another, as a bonus, to kind of also pinpoint specific tips that can work for different types of parties, be sure and check out the description below. I've provided some links that will give you some ideas that I've used, and then also ideas from other consultants, so you can take and use those to get inspired as you build your own host coaching program. I want to start off and I want to give you a few tips that will help you with your hostess coaching. First of all, remember the acronym TINY, their interest, not yours. It's all about them. What are they most excited about? How can we help them get the most rewards and free and half price from this party? That's what we're working for, because that's a good chance of why they are having this party. Another thing that you can do to make that happen is give them a number to shoot for as far as active participants. Sensi's done the research and they found that if you can have at least 10 people come to a party, the chances of a host being able to reach those goals that she has is greater chance for success. And so 10 is the number that they've identified. And to have 10, rule of thumb is 1 in 3 of the people that you invite will actually show up to your event. So I would recommend having your host invite between 30 and 50 people to this party so you can get that sweet spot of 10 participants. The next thing that you want to do is you want to teach them how to invite people. Like, it needs to be very strategic, because if not, if they just send an invite or forget to follow up, nobody's going to know and nobody's going to find out about it. So through the hostess coaching, something that I do is we send it out, like invites go out 1 week before, and then day before and day of, they send out reminders that for the party so that they don't miss out. So you want to show them. And then another thing is I've done both physical invitations and the text invitations, and text do just as well. But one thing that's made the big difference is using a Snapchat filter and creating your invitation with a silly photo of your host, and then like with all of the details. That's something that grabs and catches attention. Another tip when you're building out your host coaches program is helping them choose a sales goal and a people goal. So I'll always give them something to shoot for, because if they have no target of where they're supposed to go, then it's harder for them to be motivated or to know what direction that they need to go in getting these orders. So for number goal, I always tell my people, okay, you need at least $200 in sales so that you can get the free and half price. That's when the host rewards kick in. But then I try to get them really excited and say, but the magic number in Sensi is a $500 party. If you can get that, then you are going to get 15% free and 3 half price. That's huge. Like, that's so much Sensi. And then the way that you can tell them, if they look at you and be like, oh my heck, 500, how, 5? Here's the cool thing. This is when you hostess coach and say, okay, here's the thing though. You don't have to get all the party orders that night. You can get orders before. So this is when you, as the consultant, a few days beforehand, you give your host, give them some testers, give order forms, give them some catalogs. So that way, if there's people that they didn't invite to the party, maybe their spouse has people he could take it to at work that want to look at it, or if somebody does say to them, oh, you know what, shoot, I'm busy that night, I'm not going to be able to come, they can still save the sale by, hey, that's okay, would you still like to order? I've got testers and catalogs, you can come over and look beforehand if you'd like to. Those are tips and tricks that you can use for them to save their sale and still get those orders. Heck, there's a chance if they do that well and really hit the ground running and collecting outside orders, by the time the actual event starts, they've already got $500. It could happen. Another goal, the people goal that you want them to come. Remember, they're looking for 10 active participants to come. And of those 10 people, we're hoping that 7 will order, 2 will book a party, and 1 will want to start their own business. Another tip, even if the event is going to be on location, meaning it's going to be in a home, at a coffee shop, at sniff and sip, they can still, I recommend that you put together an event page on Facebook, and then she can add all of her people on there. That way you can generate excitement, get them excited. You could share tips. You could also ask questions. By doing that little bit of research, then you can know exactly what they're interested in, what questions they have. So as you're putting together the event and how you're going to talk or your presentation, you'll know exactly where to go in areas that interest them. Okay. Hostess coaching is definitely a team effort. Your goal is to get her motivated and excited so that she she has a greater chance of getting those free and half price items. And let them know too, okay, like how important it is. I'm not just telling you this stuff because it's fun to hear, but I promise you, this is a method that if you'll follow through to the best of your efforts, listen to those things that I say and take action on them, your chances of getting those dreams of free and half price items is very likely to come to pass and to become a reality. Okay, now we have to talk about this because it's going to happen at some point. What do you do when you've done all of that, the hostess coaching and the things that we've talked about, and the party was a flop? What if nobody showed up or there weren't any sales? Okay, first of all, you can't quit, right? You just keep going. Second of all, that's like your official Scentsy initiation. I don't think I've ever met a Scentsy consultant in Scentsy consultant history that hasn't had a party flop. So what you can do with that, instead of choosing to be sad or feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, this is when you need to zoom out and look at your party from a bird's eye view and look, okay, how motivated was the host in this? Did she try to follow everything that we did? And if she did, if you could say yes to that, then the next thing would be to look at, okay, what did my system look like? What are some things maybe I could fine tune and tweak for next time to make it a little bit better? You might even ask your host for some feedback on things that she might recommend that you could do better for the next time. Remember, this is not a failure. Look at it as a learning opportunity, okay? And it's much better. Okay, what I want you to do for your assignment is I want you to take a few of the things that we've talked about. I want you to take a look at the resources that I've included in the description of this video, and I want you to start to put together your own hostess coaching formula or program, or however you're going to do it. Like, put things together that you can do to be able to help your host be successful. And another tip, when you're putting this together, like, look at it from their perspective. Imagine if you were going to host a party for somebody and you were going to be the host and you know nothing of this company or anything other than you just love the products. What would be things that would be helpful for you to know as you go to put this party together? So that would be a great way to look at it as you're completing this assignment. Okay, make sense? Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.